Madam, the volunteer special constabulary is an integral part of the Singapore police force and has been so for the last 70 years. In 2008, the VSC strength was slightly over 1,000 officers. As of June this year, there were 734 VSC officers. Our VSC officers come from all walks of life: university students, taxi drivers, accountants, lawyers. And they have the same powers, they put on the same uniform, perform the same duties, similar to that of regular police officers. They are deployed for frontline duties at police land divisions, neighborhood police centers, traffic police, and also deployed for major events like National Day Parade. VSC officers face personal danger and risks in their line of work, similar to regular police officers. And they undergo rigorous basic training twice a week in the evenings, over 24 weeks. After passing out from training, these officers have to contribute a minimum of 16 hours a month. Many volunteer for more hours than that. On average, each officer contributes about 32 hours a month, and they are not paid salaries. Instead, they are given a small allowance, and that's to offset out-of-pocket expenses like transport and food. In 2007, the police force conducted a review of this allowance. At that time, the allowance was $2.80 per hour. SPF recommended to increase the allowance rate from $2.80 per hour to $3.60 per hour. The reasons for the increase were considered and evaluated at ministry headquarters, and they were approved by the Permanent Secretary, or PS. However, the officers did not take the next step of seeking approval from the minister, as was required under the Police Force Act. Within a ministry, the Permanent Secretary is the CEO. He is the accounting officer for the ministry's budget, which runs into several billions of dollars. For example, the budget for this year for Home Affairs is at $5.34 billion. And the PS has authority to approve expenditures of up to $10 million. The decision to increase the VSC allowance in 2008 was taken at the highest senior civil servant level in the ministry, and in money terms, well within the Permanent Secretary's authority. But the Police Force Act requires the minister to approve the increase. The additional 80 cents per hour per officer amounts to about $2.62 million over the 7 years from 2008 to 2015. In addition, SPF had also paid allowance for VSC duty beyond the 4-hour cap stipulated in the regulations, and prorated allowance for duty for less than an hour. Since the payments had been made without the minister's personal approval, AGO classified them as overpayments. That's how AGO has put it, since the minister's approval should have been obtained, but it will be fair to describe it as a procedural error. When assessing the nature of the error, the following points need to be considered. The policy intent was to increase the allowance. The Ministry HQ agreed that the allowance should be raised and approved this. No one in his right mind could complain or suggest that the VSC should not get $3.60 per hour as allowance for the out-of-pocket expenses. Indeed, most people will consider it an underpayment. Nor can anyone reasonably say that it's wrong for the officers to get the allowance if they volunteered for more than 4 hours, or that it is wrong if prorated payments were made when they volunteered for less than an hour. The AGO findings were brought to my attention. I agreed with the rationale for the payments. It was right that the payments should have been made. We sought advice from AGC. AGC advised that under the Police Force Act, I can authorize the payments retrospectively. Hence, I authorized the payments. The regulations were also amended, with some provisions deleted, also in accordance with AGC's advice. I should add that I've asked my staff to review the VSC allowance rate further. The current quantum of $3.60 an hour is, in my view, still too low. This was not a case of officers making decisions to increase allowances and deliberately bypassing the minister. The officers responsible for handling the earlier approval have been spoken to about their mistake. Madam Speaker, the VSC celebrates its 70th anniversary this year. Our VSC officers have been doing good work for many years. They work alongside our regular police officers hand in hand. They have shown tremendous dedication and commitment, and let me share two examples. Staff Sergeant Mohammad Arif bin Said Abdul Qadir, age 36. He is a project manager in the construction industry. He joined the VSC in 2010. Despite his busy schedule, juggling a full-time job and looking after his family, he performs frontline policing duties on Fridays and Saturdays in the evenings. He does so with regular counterparts from Jurong Police Division. Another VSC officer, 55-year-old SSI 2, Johnny Boone. He has just extended his service for 3 years after having been in the VSC for 26 years. He joined the VSC in 1990. As a full-time swimming and martial arts instructor, his skills were recognized, and he was selected to serve as a training instructor. Besides spending 2 evenings a week as a training instructor, he also took up additional policing duties, serving on Friday and Saturday nights at Tanglin Police Division. These officers, 734 of them, do not serve because of the $3.60 per hour. They come forward to serve Singapore. If any member of this House seriously thinks that $3.60 is too much, then please let me know. Our VSC officers make considerable sacrifices to step forward to partner the police force. They help keep Singapore crime-free. They do not do this for the money, so let's keep the whole issue in perspective. If there is no complaint about the actual amount paid, then the question is the process. On the process, I've set out what happened. The officers involved made a mistake. The matter has been handled with advice from Attorney General's chambers, and the officers have been advised to be more careful. Thank you, Madam.